start from one. My name is, hi, how are you?
Hi, good evening, sorry.
My name is Juan Carlos Dominguez. I am the president of the Meat Export Association, and also I'm the president of the Pork Producers Association from Chile. Chile is, well, you know where Chile so far from everywhere, but the idea of being here is to, of course, to explain why or how we have been able to develop our industry, our pork industry. We are not a huge pork or meat producers. We're a small country, but we handle to be the number 7 worldwide on export. So the idea to be here is to introduce ourselves. We were able to open the Chilean pork meat to Philippines just middle of 2020, in the middle of the COVID, of the pandemic. So usually we travel and we came with the companies, with the exporters, but it was not possible. So first we did a Zoom meeting with the importers just before opening the market, and then in March of 2022 we did another seminar here to introduce ourselves, and we promised that as soon as we came, we will come. And here we are finally. So the idea is to show to the importers our brand, our quality, tell them a little bit about our country, how we produce, why we produce, and why we think that our meat is kind of different than other meat of other countries. I think that the main characteristic of our production is that actually we produce for export, and that's why you will see we were born to export. We say that because usually countries produce for the local market, and then if they have enough volume, they start exporting. We do the opposite. Before that, in 1995, we make a decision as a country, together the private sector and the public sector, that the future of the production of protein in Chile, and mainly pork and poultry, but today we're talking about only pork, is that to develop the business in Chile, we need to focus on export, and we need to focus on quality. So that we travel, we went to Japan, we went to Korea, and we learn from them. We invite them to our country, and they show us how to produce the pork for the requirement of the market. So beginning of 2000, we were able to start exporting to Korea, exporting to Japan, and very soon we start exporting to Europe. So during all the first decade of 2000, between 2000 and 2010, we increased production, we increased quality mainly, and then we start opening different markets. We started opening the US, then we opened in China, that was very important, and finally working together with authorities, with our authorities, and also with the local authorities. Finally, in 2020, we were able to open Philippine market for our product. So the idea is we already. I was talking with the president of the importers here in Philippines that we're starting the relation, but and because he said that there's not so much volume from Chile right now, and I told you, hey, 2 containers per day, every single day, 2 containers of poultry and 2 containers of poultry and pork are leaving Chile to Philippines. So it's not huge volume, but 2 containers, 40 tons per day, are traveling from Chile to the Philippine market. So I think it's a good beginning. And now it's the real job, is to know each other, as we did in other markets, to know importers, to try to convince them to visit us. For us, it's very important. All the exporter companies have already come to the Philippines, but if the COVID allow us, the idea is to invite the importers to Chile to visit us, to know more about the market, how we produce, and start a long-term relationship. We are not a spot exported country, we want long-term relationship.
I'm sorry, I'm Jessica from Manila.
Jessica, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. If I may ask, I know that you said that you've been in Korea, Japan, and now you're also trying to go into the Europe soon. But why Philippines?
No, we have been dealing with Europe since 15 years ago.
Okay.
So
I'm
we
sorry
can
for
we
that.
can export to all the countries from Europe, UK, US, Mexico, more than 50 countries.
Okay, and then why Philippines? Why choose Philippines?
Because our feeling, and I think the market feeling, is that in the last 10 years, all the Asian market has been increasing consumption of pork. So we started with Korea and Japan, then we moved to China, and and then a lot of years ago, we start dealing with the local authorities. Usually it's not so easy. So finally in 2020 we were able to open. For example, we would love also to try to start sending volume to Vietnam, but step by step. We're a small country. Usually, local people and authorities don't know too much about the country, so that's why it's important to came here and also to invite authorities to our country to visit, so to learn and to show them how we are producing. But my feeling or what we learn is that when they know that we are already dealing for more than 20 years with Japan, with Europe, with different countries, okay, this guy, they should be doing something smart or something good, because if not, this other country will not allow them to import. Actually, with China, we were the first country approved to import directly to China. Usually, other countries it goes to China through Hong Kong, and we were the first country approved to import directly from Chile to China.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Yes.
Speaking of production, given that the Philippines is already an agricultural country, what makes the production different?
It's not so different. Actually, it's very similar. The genetic, the weight, the feeding of the animals is very similar as the way as Asian countries produce. So usually they feel very comfortable with our product. Also the quality, because we mainly focus on frozen product, and the cold chain from Chile to the different countries are improved in the last 10 years. So they feel, usually importers feel very comfortable with the import product from Chile, because they know that they will receive a really quality, premium quality product.
How about the competition of the price?
How competitive is the price? Since
It's
the
competitive. It's competitive. We are already selling here. We're not a huge country. So we're not Brazil. We're not Canada. We're not the States. So our focus is to build long-term relationship with our importers. It's a long-term effort. It's not spot, because if we were spot, we're so small country that doesn't make any sense. What we have been doing in other countries, and that's why we are here. That's why we are doing this effort, because as a country, we're talking about only 4 companies. It's 4 companies that export pork from Chile.
Okay.
And our strategy has been to work together. One brand, chilepork, and it's a brand not from the point of view of marketing. It's also it's mainly for the point of view of quality. When we start increasing export to Asia, we realize that it's more important the country brand than the individual brand of each company. So finally, the importers want, hey, I want the pork from Denmark, I want from Spain. They don't know which company, which brand is from Spain. They talk about Spanish pork. So in Chile, we think this is the same. So we need to build a brand, but we need to build a quality. And that's what we have been doing for the last 22 years.
So far, go ahead.
So, when we talk about beef, we have Wagyu, we have Hanwoo, and they have specific standards that are set.
Yeah.
So how would you describe Chilean pork? Are there specific standards also that you have already set? Or what makes Chilean pork different from, say, Philippine pork or pork from other countries?
And which part of your pork is has the highest
Quality.
quality or
No, no,
distributed?
it's we produce about 600,000 metric tons per year, only for company. So the quality is very standard. You don't have too much difference. Even the genetic of the animals is the same. So it's a mix of different genetic from Canada, from different countries that we create based on the genetic that you have in general in Asia. So the quality standard is the same. We usually handle the weight of the animal because that will
Affect
the level of fat and protein in the meat. And that's it. I think that more important than the quality is that the size of the industry and the size of the processing plant allow us to work like a tailor-made solution. So when, for example, when we start with the panceta, the panceta is the liempo in Korea. They were amazed because it was perfect. It was the same size. Of course, because small volumes, it's not huge volume like Brazil or like the States. So we can do, okay, we will do as you prefer. For example, a couple of years ago, Spanish people don't like this, but we used to send our legs to Spain and to Italy for the ham.
Oh yeah, ham.
Yes.
So the Italian prosciutto was made from Chilean legs because they love that, because the cut of the leg was the perfect cut, because we have the enough volume to be competitive in export, but at the same time not so much volume that we cannot take care of these small details. So I think that's the main difference. It's a tailor-made product that we offer to our customers.
So far, are there supermarkets? What are the supermarkets that are distributing your products already?
Because here it's an industrial product, so it's an industrial product that
Or
means
you
that it's
concentrate more
frozen.
on hotels?
So usually, yes, it's not to retail. Usually they focus with fresh product to retail. So our target is mainly industry that they use for ham, so different kind of product, value-added product.
Okay.
It's a really good quality raw material and very efficient. Usually the customer said that when they process our product, it's more efficient, the yield is better, and less fat, because it's done with more heart. It's not volume. We usually compare with Brazil. We're not volume, it's quality.
Sir, last question for me. We know that we're dealing with a lot of sustainability issue when it comes to farming and other food production. So when it comes to sustainability effort from your part, what are the companies doing? Because I know the market are also been very sensitive when to know where the food are coming from. Is it clean? Is it sustainable? Is it good for them?
Yes, I agree.
Is it farm-free?
Today
It's
it's
more-
not an option. It's not a trend. It's a reality. And there's no industry that is not. So if we don't be a sustainable industry, we will disappear. And in our case, our main focus has been, to give you an idea, the last 10 years, we reduced 32% the GDP emissions. 32%. It's probably one of the industries in Chile that make the biggest reduction. The focus the last 2 years and for the next 10 is circular economy. What we did is that all the slurry from our production is treated, that give us the opportunity to produce, on one side, biogas for electricity, but also biofertilizer for our own crops. So finishing a perfect circular economy that this year has been very good for the farmers because of the war. The price of the fertilizer go very high, so this was a really nice option for them.
Okay.
I think that has been the focus, and the third focus is be very efficient with the use of water. And 2022 has been for the industry the beginning of a. We have it's a good business to be efficient in use of water, but this year we make a real extra effort to be even more efficient, and we are working not only with Chilean companies, also with Danish companies, looking for the best technology to reduce the use of water. Our commitment with sustainability is so high that we were the first production sector that joined to a new program of the Ministry of Agriculture in Chile that it's called Chile Conscious Origin. That is a program together with the United Nations that is not only sustainability, it's social sustainability, governance, and economic. And the idea is that it's a program that we start with the pork producers, now poultry producers are involved, dairy producers are involved, dry fruit production in Chile is also involving, and probably wines are going to be part of this program. And the main target of the program is that because it's based on the United Nations, we will be able to compare to other countries, to other industry, the real level of sustainability of the industry. What we think about sustainability is that usually companies and people, everybody talks about sustainability, and everybody said, hey, I'm green production. Yeah, but who is saying that you are green? No, I am saying that I am green. To be honest, I'm not so sure. So that's why the industry 3 years ago, together with the Ministry of Agriculture, said, no, we need somebody abroad that can say, hey, these guys
Certified.
are really involved in this. So that's why this program. It's like the program that Ireland do with the Origin Green. Ireland, you know that Ireland is a huge also producer of different food, and they have been also in the last 10 years involved in this. I think they were the first, and our target is to be the second.
Sir, last,
How much percent of these industries contributing to your national economy?
The pork industry?
Yeah.
True, good question. In pork should be about $2 billion of a total of 80 billion. So, but more important, it's very important in rural areas because usually Chile is a very concentrated country. 80% of the population is in Santiago. Between Santiago and Valparaiso, the main city that is 100 kilometers each other, they concentrate 80%. So a lot of jobs, a lot of industries are in that area. We are in rural areas, so it's for those economies, we are very important.
sir, if ever there are other questions or information they want to check, do you have a website where they can?
Yes, Chile Carne. I think here is only it's probably our webpage, but it's all the information. There's the webpage of the each company, and should be our. But I'm seeing that it's not here. Sorry, but
Could you just mention it?
we have our page, our webpage with all the information. But I can give you my card, and it's my email. And but here chilecarnes.cl.
Okay.
That is all
So here it is, guys.
the information.
What's Carlos?
Juan Carlos, yes.
Juan Carlos.
Oh,
Gracias. Sir, question.
yeah.
What dishes, especially Filipino dishes, do you recommend that you can use the Chilean pork?
I will be very honest. I don't know because this is my first time here. I arrived very late yesterday, and actually in the hotel, I think they offer more Japanese and all kind of, but not Philippine cuisine. So I need to learn. We need to learn. That's why we are here.
Yeah, yes.
We need to learn. So the importers need to know our product, and we need to know what's your needs. I think that that's the idea of this traveling. I used to work with the government when we started with chilepork. When the industry started with chilepork, I was in the other side of the table, and that was 15 years ago. So this is a long-term race, and we love that.
How has Chilean pork been affected by different sickness in pork, like the
Yeah.
swine flu?
Yeah.
How has your industry worked through that?
That is the answer probably. We are so far from everywhere,
Yes.
and we have five natural barriers, four natural and one artificial. The four natural are the desert in the north, which is the driest desert worldwide. The Andes mountain, so we have 4,000 meters as a protection wall. The Antarctica and the Pacific Ocean. So Chile is really like an island, really well protected. So it's not easy to disease to get into inside our country. And the number fifth is our local authority. The livestock and agricultural service in Chile is a really well-known authority, and they are the fifth barrier for disease. So until today, we have been free of ASF, and that's helped for all different food productions in Chile, not only pork, fruit, wine, salmon. We are the second largest salmon producer, so it's one of our main characteristics.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.